G'day, Stephen Playford is my name. I'm CEO of Australian Sheepskin Apparel located in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. In this session we're going to be talking about laundering or washing Australian medical sheepskin with skin sand detergent. Skin sand detergent is the only detergent allowed to be used for laundering Australian medical sheepskin, as it has within it the chemicals that keep the sheepskin working and keep it effective for use. If the Australian medical sheepskin is laundered in anything other than skin sand detergent, the product loses warranty. Therefore, this product is the only product allowed to be used and has been checked out by Health Canada and is found to be an extremely useful product in the laundering of the garments themselves. Reasons being for that, we'll talk about that in a little more detail later on, but we have a bacteria stat, we have a flushing agent, and we also have a wetting agent for the leather. We'll go into that in more detail later on. What we're going to talk about right now is the volumes of skin sand required for laundering the Australian medical sheepskin, and as you can see here, the volumes that we're giving you are based on a standard in-home washing machine. So if you're doing smaller loads like washing some product in a bucket or something of that nature, you will use less detergent when there is less water, because the concentrate is very, very high in the skin sand detergent, and you wouldn't need as much in a bucket as you would for the washing machine itself. But for today's purposes, we're going to be talking about volumes used in a standard washing machine. Now, to go through and look at the table that we have here, the MSHE, or the standard medical bed pad, one of the largest used products in the health system in Canada now, the clean or dry weight of that product is around 3 pounds. And that means that someone that's been sitting on it in a wheelchair or laying on it for 3 weeks to a month, once that product absorbs the bodily fluids, it starts to get matted, or the fibre looks like it's laying down. It's telling you that it needs to be washed, because it's absorbed the body fluids and it's got skin cells and such in it that we need to flush out. So for a standard MSHE bed pad weighing 3 pounds, you'd be using around about 45 ml to 1/4 of a cup of detergent for that pad. For an MSHP5 that you can see there, that is around about 5 pounds in its clean or dry weight, and that would constitute around about 75 ml or 1/3 of a cup to launder the larger bed pad. The boots that you see down here at the bottom, they weigh approximately 2.5 pounds, and they would constitute around about 37 millimeters of product, or you would round up to about 1/4 of a cup. Now, continue on from there, we'll look at soiled or wet weight in the product. That is when we have urine or fecal matter that gets into the sheepskin. Someone has an accident and we get soiled or wet weight into the product. If the product is going to be sitting for a while without going to laundry, you need to rinse it out. Get some fresh water and rinse the urine or fecal matter out of the product, because once it goes off or ammoniates, it then becomes very deleterious to the sheepskin, or very detrimental to the sheepskin. It actually can chew holes and so on in it. So we need to rinse the product if it's going to be left a little while prior to going to laundry. Pardon me. So once we have urine or fecal matter on the product, we know that we need to get it rinsed and we need to change the product up. But when we look at that, with the urine and fecal matter in it, that constitutes, as we've already said, soiled or wet weight, which increases the amount of detergent needed, and it increases the weight of the product, so to speak. And this is how we arrive at the values or the quantities of detergent required. You can see here on this next table where we've got soiled or wet weight, an MSHE would gain approximately 1 pound, which is the determination of how much detergent is used. So from a 3 pound bed pad, it would go to approximately 4 pounds, which would require around about 100 ml of detergent, or you'd round up to 1/3 of a cup for the MSHE. The 30 by 60 or the 5 foot long pad would increase by 1 pound, which would bring it up to around about, or approximately 6 pounds, which would then constitute 125 ml or 1/2 a cup to launder the larger bed pad. With the boots being smaller the way they are, they would generally increase by around about 1/2 a pound of their weight, which would then, you would need approximately 75 ml or 1/3 of a cup to launder the boots themselves. Now, as we said, as far as the laundry, the detergent itself is concerned, we know what volumes we need there, but we also need to know what temperatures that we need to wash at. Now, Australian medical sheepskin has been designed to withstand very, very high temperatures, and thermal disinfection is achieved between 60 and 80 degrees centigrade. And that, along with the detergent itself, will kill your MRSA, your VRE, your staph infections and such, kills them dead. And the product is then able to be used for another individual, where the product can be transferred from one individual to another without any fear of cross-infection. The skin sand detergent is very, very strong in its bacteriostat, and the quaternary ammonium compounds that are in the skin sand detergent will kill MRSA, VRE and staph infection. The product does like to be washed at temperature. It relies on temperature and it performs extremely well. When the product is being utilised for the first time, we generally, or when the product is being washed for the first time, we generally put in a tablespoon of salt into the wash itself to help fast that colour. Because when we're washing at high temperatures, the product will tend to fade more quickly than at lower temperatures. So one of the things that we need to help that colour maintain is 1 tablespoon of salt in the first wash. But prior to the first wash, you can see here at the top, we need to do a rinse of the machine prior to washing, so that if there's any built-up detergents from previous washing with powdered detergents or liquid detergents or bleaches and such, we need to be able to flush that product from the washing machine so that it's not going to affect the sheepskin. We also want to not wash the product with other clothing and such, or linens and such. In case there is a transfer of dye, we don't want anything else turning slightly green. So the product is laundered by itself. What we simply do is you run the Australian medical sheepskin through a wash cycle, a standard wash cycle in an in-home washing machine, using only the skin sand detergent. After the wash cycle has been done, it's a real good idea to do another spin cycle on the machine to get rid of excess water, which helps to speed up the drying time. Once we've done that, take the product from the machine and place it into the dryer on a medium to low heat. And that is for about 40 minutes each time. And each time that expires, open the dryer, pull the product out and give it a stretch, because that is what we call breaking the grain of the product. And this is very important in the drying process, that we pull those fibers of the leather out, because you know how when if you're using the chamois on your car and you place it in the garage, you come back a couple of days later and it's dried hard in that shape. If you actually flex that leather as that chamois was drying, it will be nice and soft and supple to the touch. Australian medical sheepskin is affected in the exact same way. So each time you repeat the process, put the product back in the dryer for 20, 30, 40 minutes, pull it out, and while it's still partially damp, give it a good stretch in all directions. That will break the grain and it will return the suppleness back to the leather itself. When we're washing in commercial type settings, the volumes are going to be larger and the temperatures can be more intense. So we need to be very, very careful in commercial settings as to what temperatures are being utilised. And if you are thermally disinfecting, you want to disinfect between 60 to 80 degrees centigrade, and with the skin sand detergent as well. You can see down here at the bottom that there's a number of different quantities available from, we have the 250ml bottles of detergent to 1 litre to 4 litre, and then to the 20 litre drum with the pump that you can see there. Now, continuing on from there, just to give you a quick breakdown of the skin sand detergent. Number 1, we have a bacteriostat, we also have a foaming agent, and we also have a wetting agent. What each of these do is that the bacteriostat, as we said, is some of the highest quality quaternary ammonium compounds in the world. And that will kill MRSA, VRE and staph infection. So we know that we have the bugs and so on sorted out with the detergent, and we're able to thermally assist that as well with hot water. The foaming agent is designed to flush out all of the wool fibre and to get rid of all the skin cells and the bodily fluids that have been absorbed and trapped in those fibres. And the wetting agent down the bottom is designed to keep that leather soft and supple. That's why we must be washing with skin sand detergent, because there are no other detergents on the market that have these unique qualities as far as the wetting agent itself is concerned, and even the bacteriostat. Skin Sand detergent has it all, and it is what will look after the sheepskin very effectively and keep it in use. From there, if we're in an institutional type setting, we do need the MSDS sheets, or the Material Safety Data Sheets. These sheets are kept on file and they're obtainable through Australian Sheepskin Apparel. We will either fax them to you or you can download them. And if you need further information on this product, you can contact us through Australian Sheepskin Apparel at shorebiz.ca, and or you can go to our website on australianmedicalsheepskins.com. I hope you've learned something from this session, and thanks so much for your time.